Due to the ignorance of our host, parental discretion is advised.
Welcome back. Welcome back to How Did It Get So Good? Shout out to the boys from Advent Horizon for the song. I know I say it all the time, dude. But hey, it's a small price to pay for giving me a new song. So I'll give those guys a shout out every day. Every day if I could. That's how much I like them. But anyway, we're back. We're back in the studio on a solo episode again. Starting to get used to. Starting to get used to my guests saying like, "Hey, I won't be able to," and I'm like, "Hey, I'm good. I'm good. I'll do it. I don't need you. I don't need you in my life. I do need some of the guests in my life, though. But we're back. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the support you've been giving me so far. Thank you so much for following, for sharing, all the good stuff. Thank you. I have no words to express how tingly my bagel feels. What? Anyway, what's been going on? I had a good week. I had a good weekend. The only shitty part about it is my Packers lost. My Packers lost, dude. And the worst thing about it is they lost to the 49ers, which happens to be Long Balls' team. But I will say this, though. Even if every single 49er fan denies it, they were probably shitting themselves the entire game until the last 2 minutes, maybe. I was seeing it from far away. It was the same day of the fights. You know how we roll on fight night. We get together, all the boys, most of us podcasters. Some of us don't. Some of us friends. Some of us guests of, some of them guests of all of the guys' podcasts. They show up and have fun with us. So I was seeing it from far away. I was closer to the fights. Although I will say, every single time that I go and see the fights, don't pay too much attention to them. And like it so happens that every day, like every time that I go, then I leave the place and then I'm like, what even happened? Like I might be able to say, oh, I know so and so won, but I didn't pay attention to the fight. You know, I'm paying attention to the fellas. You know, I'm hanging out. I'm eating. I'm devouring a salad. And your boy got buzzed, dude. Buzzed. So I was watching the game from far away, and every now and then I will stand up and get closer to the TV, and then I'm like, yes, like we still got it. It's like we're still ahead of them. We're still good. I think it's gonna happen. Cause you know, Long Balls run his tongue, run his mouth, like we say, the entire week, how bad it was gonna be. And Monday morning, he was like, yo. I was like, he gave up. He was like, this is not going to happen. And, I think it's because it's like the, what do you call it? I lost the word. The thing that happens every year, right? I mean, the same thing happens to the Packers, right? Every year. Although I had Mr. Rogers, right? Who most of you guys know that I'm a Aaron Rodgers dick rider. I'm gonna go as far as say I was Aaron Rodgers dick rider. But the more he opens his mouth, the more I want to go, hey Rodgers, why don't you just shut the fuck up and throw the ball, huh? Let's try that. Let's do that. Nobody cares about what you do and who you got shit to talk about. Just throw the ball like the rest of them. Okay? Do normal stuff, right? Get get called out on like regular scandals, right? Like Antonio Brown, go fart on your doctor or something, right? But anyway, you guys know what I'm talking about, right? He opened his mouth about that list that we spoke about, whatever. Doesn't matter. But just shut the hell up, throw the ball, we'll be good. So I watched the game from far away, and I will say this though. The night of, like I said, I was gonna go watch the fights, and then it was the same night of the game. So part of me was like, should I represent a little? Should I represent with the hat, and the hoodie? But then for some reason, and I never seen this before. Actually, I never seen it at the bar. I never seen anybody, because I've been there for all the Packers games, right? And I never seen anybody just like rocking the gear like a lot of people. It's always been like 2 or 3. And in my head, I didn't want to go and be the only guy that had the gear and then watch the team lose, right? So you just sit there, and it's fine. I mean, if I have no problem rocking my colors when they lose, because I feel like everybody, when they win, everybody's going to do it, right? But I don't know, for some reason I'm like, what if I just sit there and I'm like the only guy that has the Packers gear on and they lose? Well, to my knowledge, I win, and I would say about a quarter of the bar, it was pretty packed by the end of the night. About a quarter of the bar, everybody was wearing Packers gear. And I was like, these are my people. I fucked up. But overall, it was a good game. But like I said, we didn't do it. And also shout out to Jordan Love, man. I for a person that got drafted and nobody cared for him, and by nobody I mean nobody in Wisconsin. He's done a good job, right? Like we want to say that we want to believe that he's learned from Aaron Rodgers, right? We do know that Brett Favre wasn't as much as of a teacher. Like, I've seen videos. I mean, I may be wrong here, but I've seen the video of him saying like, it wasn't my job to teach him. It wasn't my job to train him. He should learn as he goes, right? And we all know how good Aaron Rodgers is, but with Jordan Love, like I don't feel like Aaron Rodgers is as much of a dick of a person than Brett Favre. I mean, he's a weird guy nowadays, right? But at least he hasn't stolen any money. But he's killing it, dude. And as a person that comes from Utah, right? Utah State, you can't help but to feel pumped about it, right? Even some friends that are not Packers, they were like, I mean, we gotta go with love. We gotta go with love. Is this love that I'm feeling? Is this the love? It is the love that I've been wanting for, dude. Jordan Love, and he's just getting better, dude. But oh well. And like I said, the fights, I didn't pay attention to him, right? All I know is the favorite guy lost, which talking to Mr. Longballs, he said that he got robbed. You know, he won the fight, and they give it to the other guy. But I'm not the UFC guy. I'm just there to enjoy it. As a matter of fact, I'm not even the NFL guy. I'm just there to enjoy the game. And I'm not even the NBA guy, but go Jazz. And by the way, now that the Packers are gone, I will say it doesn't matter what we've been through. Go Niners, dude. I will say that. Go Niners. I got all my I put all my money on the 49ers. And I do have a secret love for the Niners because they're from San Francisco and they're all gay. What? But no, but I do like him. I do like him. I think Purdy's a badass. And Kittle's a badass. And McCaffrey's a badass. And don't make me say anymore, right? We're good. But yeah, so go Niners. And they're playing Sunday, I think. Be nice if someone invites me to watch it, right? But by the time this episode comes out, it's too late. Nobody invited me, but whatever. We'll keep thriving. So yeah, then I was gonna do something happened that night that I've never done at a bar. As you guys know, part of the attraction on fight night it's to go see Dre play, right? And he got there and he was like, "You ready to play some dominoes?" I was like, "What? Want to play some dominoes?" And I thought he was like autistic or something there for a second. I'm like, I don't know that you play dominoes at a bar. I think you drink beer and watch the sports or the girls. And this guy just wanted to play dominoes. And by the way, I had no idea. I was last week years old when I found out that there's like more than what. Here's how I know dominoes. You play until your chips are gone. Until you have no more chips. So you're like, I won when my chips are all on the table. That's how I thought this was. Apparently not. Apparently you add numbers. Like obviously if you start with the 6 and 6, then someone goes off of the 6, then you add those, and then whatever you're putting down. I'll be honest. That guy from the radio explained it to me like 6 times. Never caught it, right? Everybody, every now and then he was like, "That was a good move, Ainge. That was a good move." All I was trying to do is get rid of my chips. Do you call them chips, by the way? I was trying to get rid of my dominoes. But anyway. So, yeah, I had no idea about it. And then they put a person in charge of adding numbers. And then I'm like, that's kind of takes away from it, right? Because you're trying to play it. Like, okay, so 16 and then 4 is, you're like, what? But whatever, dude. Whatever. I do know for a fact, whatever it is that the rules are, whatever the rules are, I won a couple times or a few times because I ended up with no chips. So holla at your boy. And also, it doesn't matter if you play like me trying to get rid of your chips, because at the end of the day, you get everybody's points, which on the rules that were explained to me, you won those points to get to 150. Whoever gets to 150 wins. I don't know, dude. I don't know. I'm not 70 years old at Liberty Park and sitting in one of those grass benches and playing with my old friends. Okay? I don't know. What's next? Chess? I don't know. I was playing my way or the highway. Life is a highway. And I want to ride it all night long. But also, I got my ass beat, which is fine. It's okay. Also, one of the good things that happened that night, Mrs. Mariah and her hunk of a husband, Justin, came to the fights. And then they sat with us and we had fun. Mariah was playing. Mariah and I were like trying to bump our hands because we were holding our dominoes in our hands and trying not to make the other person see it. And then she will bump my head and I'll have to pick him up from the floor, and then vice versa. And then her husband was like keeping track of all these points. Whatever, dude. But it was fun. It was a fun night. And then host from the Beans and Rice, good old Hosifer, he showed up. And then he had a couple friends showed up at the end. And that's the awesome thing about it, dude. That's the awesome thing about it, which is we get together, like all the friends that we know each other. We kind of know the drill, right? We're like, oh, we get there, and like I'm usually one of the first ones. Sometimes host beats me there, and like when we get there, we sit at the bar, and then at one point in time, we're like, let's go grab a table because we know. Usually somebody goes, oh, I got so and so coming. Oh, I got so and so coming. Well, this time your boy Ange was the one who was like, oh, I got Mariah coming. So. And she come over and she was starting to get buzzed, and then she's like, I gotta go. And so they left. But that was a good night. That was a good night of games. Good night. The fights were good. Well, I will say this, according to Long Balls, the card was, it was trash. So that was probably like the only good fight. And it ended up not being what it was supposed to be, but whatever. But it was good. It was a good night. And then, it was like good and bad, right? I got to see my team lose at the last 2 minutes, and then see the fights and hang out with friends, which is my favorite thing to do in the entire world. But anyway, so that was it. That was it today. It's kind of a special day. My mother texted me earlier today, and she said, today marks 23 years that we set foot, is that how you say it? That we set foot in the United States today. I'm recording this on Friday the 26th. And today marks 23 years, dude. 23 years. It's crazy. I mentioned it before. At this point in my life, I've lived more time in the United States than I lived back home. And Justin called me out on it the other day. He says, why you keep saying back home? Like, you spent 18 years here. You've been 23 years here. But, so yeah, 23 years, man. We came here with no expectation whatsoever, or at least my mom. I don't know, dude. I don't know how she works. I want to say she knew maybe that we were going to become somebody in this country. And by somebody, I mean, obviously this is the country of opportunities, right? Like we came here, we made a name for ourselves, and now I have a good job. I've made a good life for myself, obviously with the help of my mother and my old relationship. They help me grow. They help me gather things for me. They allow me to do. You get this for you, right? And I did. And then my sister, I know that you guys have heard me before. She's very, she's got her own shit together, man. She doesn't own anything to anybody, and everything that she's done and she's got is because she's worked her ass off for. She doesn't live with us. She doesn't live here in Utah, which kind of sucks. It kind of sucks not to have my little sis. But I know she's doing her thing, and I know that she's killing it, and she's very successful at what she does. And all she cares about is her animals. And then, first her animals, then us, maybe, and then men at the bottom, right? Hopefully that is. But yeah, so I'm thankful, right? Like I see how my life changed from when I was a kid in Mexico, and the direction that I was going, right? To like, I wasn't going to, I mean, I'll be honest with you. If I see myself like back in the day, I could tell you that kid was never going to get a bachelor's of something. I wasn't going to get a master's of whatever. It was just probably just going to make it by and then have a decent job, I guess, at a factory or something, making hamacas way. But no, dude, my mom decided to sell everything, pack the shit. We came here 23 years ago today, and thank God she did. And I'll be honest with you, they were there for a second. I hated the fact that we did this, and I hated the fact that she brought me here, and I hated the fact that I left everything behind, friends, family, what I knew, right? What I knew, everything that I knew was there. And my mom is like, "You don't need any of this," and I was like, "You don't understand." And for the people that is new to the podcast, I didn't want to come. I fought to be here. I didn't know where we were going. I didn't know how life was gonna be. I didn't know who we were coming to live with. Right? My mom met this guy over the internet, and then I was like, "Oh, great, we're gonna go over there and be murdered in a month." And shout out to that guy, man. He took over us like he was a father figure. He taught me some stuff. He's a chef. He never taught me how to cook, which obviously you guys know that, right? But he was like the first guy that I started doing kind of like a father-son things with, right? Like we would go and and this might sound stupid to you, but obviously I never had this because my parents got divorced when I was so young. But like I would go and like help him out with things in the house, or like I would go and shovel snow with him, or I would go and first also I worked with him. Like he gave me a job, so that was one of like my first jobs, where I learned a lot in that job too, because it was like fine dining. So I actually learned some fucking etiquette when it comes to eating, dude. When it comes to being at a restaurant, give me a plate with 2 plates, a bread and butter plate with bread and butter knife, and 2 knives and 2 forks and 3 spoons. I got you, dude. I got you. I know all that shit, bro. And I learned that because he gave me a job there. And I stayed in that job for like 2.5 years. So I owe him a lot. 23 years. And now I get to wake up in the morning and I raise my wavy hair and I got an old coal for a pillow, and the earth was last night's bed. No, I do have a bed. But now you move me from, barely trying to make it into the world of what my life used to be, right? And how the situation is there, and yeah, I mean, I've said it before, and I hate that I'm repeating myself by saying I've said it before, but just because I know there's a few people that have joined the podcast since we started with the new name. I have friends that were very, I wouldn't say successful, right? Because we were in school, we were in high school, we were or junior high, whatever you want to call it, but they were like the smart people in the room. They were like the brainiacs. And then I would go home, and I swear to you, this is a legit story. I'm not making this up. There was a guy that he was very witty. He was very smart. He was very book smart. And one of the times that I went, I think it was the first time ever that I went back to Mexico. I think it was after I came here. It was like in 2006. I think I went back, and I had my ex-wife back then. We met with some friends, and we went to this club, and that guy, the guy that I kind of look up to when it comes to tests, right? And I'm like, oh, I gotta sit down next to this motherfucker because he's a fucking guy, right? He's smart. I'll copy him. He was serving our drinks, and I remember looking at him, and I'm like, what are you? Aren't you supposed to own this place? He was like, oh no, dude. Oh no. It's not how you think it is. It doesn't work the way you think it does. And it was sad, dude, because I still in contact with some friends, and and I see their jobs, right? Like how they go from job to job, and those are jobs that you go, oh, no, that they're not doing their best, but you go, like, I think, oh, that there's no way you're happy doing that, and the way you keep changing jobs makes me think, well, you're not happy everywhere you go. So we dodged the bullet. We dodged the bullet, man. We really did. And my mom was always. That's why my mom is my hero, dude. I have no idea how she saw this. She saw the forest through the trees, you know. And she was like, no, this is what we're doing. And I tell you what, dude, I was so stuck on staying there that and mind you, I was 18. So in Mexico, at 18, you're an adult. You can make your own decisions. And I was so stuck on not coming that my mother was almost like, okay, there's nothing that I can do. If you want to stay, you stay. And I was gonna stay at my grandma's house. Not even my mom's mom. I was gonna stay at my father's mom's house. And she was like, "Yeah, it's just me. I have a room in the back that no one's using. Your cousin used to live here. Where he lived here, he had that room." And I was like, "I'm set." And it's funny because now that I think about it, I'm like, I'm set when it comes to having a place to live. And I was going to get fed, right? But at that point, I had no idea what I was doing. I don't know if I was working, because I did get to work before I left the country. I was working. I don't know if I was going to school. And then same thing, right? I was like, how am I going to go to school? How am I going to do things? How am I going to, I'm just thinking that right now. Like, I had no idea what I had in my head there. All I knew was like, I'm not going to go. But look, man, we're here. My mom has a beautiful home, a brand new home. And every time I go, she's like, hey, you want to go downstairs? I'm like, how many times are we going to go downstairs? Well, every time I go there, like basically every weekend, she has something new downstairs. Her downstairs in her house, so it doesn't sound bad. The downstairs, the downstairs of the house looks badass. They have a TV that is bigger than this room. She just got the leather couches. They finished the basement. They have this whole fucking cells from IKEA and shit. And she has a room for like snacks and the fridge and some alcohol. I mean, she has it all. I was like, holy shit. Like, you busted your ass to have for the longest time. I heard my mother say, I just want my house to be new. One day I will have a house it'll be brand new. And now she's got it. And with all the stuff that they've been doing, she has so much equity on that thing. And she just bought it like 2.5 years ago. So I guess I kind of have that from my mom. I put something in my head and I'm like, and I somehow I make it happen. Every single thing that I wanted when I started living, when I got married, I was like, I wanted 5 things, and I'm not even gonna go with it, but I wanted 5 things, and I remember I want to do this, I want to do this, and I did all 5 of them, and I was like, holy shit! And I would never be able to do that back home, never. The situation is so much worse, and I'm not saying that there's all we have is poor people. No, there's very successful people, right? Like, Mexico's not. It's not just the fucking barrio you see on TV, right? But it takes. I would say it takes a lot more than just working your ass for it, like you can here, right? Somebody here, you can just work your ass off. You start your own business and you're good. As horrible as this sounds, you don't even need school. if you're smart and you're with it, you'll make it happen. But I just got told, and I want to tiptoe around this. I just got told about a guy that works with us. He has the minimum education when it comes to school. The minimum. He might even have a hard time reading and writing. And what he does for us, like his day by day job, he's one of the best. Early age, he decided, yeah, school's not for me. I'm gonna follow this, and now he's one of the best. So that's what I'm trying to say. You don't necessarily need a degree or a bachelor's or all these certifications. Shout out to Mariah again. You just can't make you can make something here, right? Mexico's not as good. It's not as easy. Mexico, you kind of need, or at least 23 years ago when I was there, that's how it used to be. And I tell you what, I haven't heard that things have changed, so it'll be this. It's probably the same. I see it with my dad. My dad wasn't a person that I don't know how much education he has. I'm not gonna judge him by that, but he's a person that went through the work hard route instead of the education route, and yeah, he's retired or whatever, but he's not rich by any means. He doesn't have his own business. He just worked at a place and retired from that place because he worked there for many years. But he made it happen. He raised 3 kids. I'm not gonna say me because my parents were divorced when I was so young, and then obviously he only had to. If you're talking about child support, I mean, I left when I was 18, which is basically when he stopped paying child support. So it's not like I've needed money from him or his help. Vice versa, actually. Well, but it's actually gone the other way around. But so shout out to my mother, man. 23 years ago. It sounds simple, but it sounds easy. It sounds fast, but it hasn't been. It feels fast, but it hasn't been. Also, on a couple weeks ago, it was her birthday. It was her 61st birthday. And she, I took her to do what's it called? The go-karts. I never done it before. It was fun. She mentioned it one time. She's like, I think there was a commercial on TV, and I wasn't even like, I saw the commercial as I was walking to do something else, and my mom was looking at it. She was watching it, and she goes, "Oh, that looks fun." And then she said, "We should do that for my birthday." And I was like receiving the message without even looking that way. I was just like, I was like, huh, that'll be cool. And then I started thinking, do I take everybody? Because it's probably not gonna be cheap. Or do I just take my mother? Right? Like, what do I do here? What do I do? And it couldn't be the week of her birthday because she was busy. She had some appointments she had to go to. And I said, okay, next weekend you're mine. And it happened last Saturday. And I went to have breakfast with her, and then I took her. And then my little brother was there. Her husband was working. My little brother was there. And I said, hey, go change. You're coming with. And he had no idea what he was for. And I said, don't worry about it. You're going to have fun. Just come with. And we went. We went to the one in Sandy. K1, I think it's called. K9? KY? Something like that. But it was fun. And I wanted to do a video like I did the year before when I rented the Bronco for her. But it's hard because once I'm driving, I can't record her while she's. I mean, first of all, we're in the same races, right? So I can't record while I'm driving. So the video kind of went to shit, but she had a blast, And I'm happy that I was there to help out with that, because even my little brother was like, that was fun. And I was like, hell yeah. Hell yeah. So we had fun. She had fun, which was obviously the biggest goal, is that she had a blast, and she did. Although we did 2 races back to back. Obviously my little brother and I picked it up fast. We were like hauling ass. It's still, by the way, there's other people go there, and I tell you, these people, they probably don't go there for fun. They literally go there for, sharpen the skill, and they don't give a shit how fast you're going. They'll pass you, and if you're on the way, move, bitch, get out the way. But we did it. She had fun, and then I dropped it off. And this happened the same Saturday of the fights and the game. I went and had fun with her, came back home, showered, head out to the bar. So that was a fun weekend. My friend Chance. You guys know about my friend Chance. He's the guy that says the intro of the pod. He has been he has been moved out of the ICU, I think. I can't remember the top of my head. I have the text, but he's not in the he's not at the U anymore. So he's kind of like the most dangerous times are behind him, per se. So he's somewhere in Murray, starting with the recovery process. And I think for what I've heard, I think he's walking now. He's get the chance to walk around and harass everybody around the hospital. But that's good news. That's good news. I can't wait. I'm gonna try my best to go see him this weekend. I haven't seen him in a while, but I'm gonna try and go see him this weekend. And as far as I know, he's been remembering everybody, so it'll be cool to see him again and have a conversation again. So the last time I saw him was kind of awkward though, because he was just like, I got there and it was just me. His family wasn't there, friends weren't there, so I just caught him in a time that he was just by himself with the nurses. And and he would look at me and he would say, "Hey, get me out of here." And I go, "What?" He's like, "Just get me out of here." I'm like, because they had to, whatever. It's kind of a personal thing. But he was like, "Just get me out of here." I'm like, "I can't just take you out of here. You have to stay." But like every night, like he would look at me and he goes, "Angel, get me the fuck out of here." And I'm like, I want to go home. Like I don't want to be there, because I do want to take you out. But I can't take you out. But he's doing a lot better, which it makes me feel so happy that he's doing a lot better. But it's a trip. It's a trip to see him slowly getting back to himself. He was a jokester. I've had him. He was on the podcast on the one of the few first episodes, and I had nothing in this studio but a table, and I managed to put 4 microphones in a soundboard that was only for 2, and back then we didn't have any cameras, and it was just my 4 guys, and we and we had a blast. And after that we went to sushi, which it was even better. But that's how you get. I mean, I'm not asking you to go back in time when it comes to episodes, but if you get to listen to it, you get the interaction between all of us, and it's a blast. And so I'm happy to slowly be getting him back and back to being himself again. That was awesome. It was a terrible accident, and the fact that he's still with us, we are very, very lucky. So shout out to him. He's getting good. It's getting better. And yeah, pretty cool. A few things to be happy about. Another thing to be happy about is, and I don't know if you even, for all the sneakerheads out there, I don't know if you have ever got this happen to you, but Nike finally fucked up and fucked up in my favor. I bought a pair of jeans. What the fuck? I went to Nike to buy a pair of jeans. I got me a pair of shoes, and they delivered them on Monday. And then I went home yesterday, and I had a box at the table. At the table? What the fuck am I saying? At the door. And I brought it in because it said my name. Now, I do have a couple friends that have ordered themselves some shoes, and in order to not to get in trouble with their spouses, they sent it to my house. So I picked it up. I'm like, oh, maybe somebody just ordered some shoes. And I'm started looking at it. It says my name. It says my address. But I'm still like, well, maybe it's, not for me. Because I wasn't expecting any shoes. And I opened it, and it's the same shoes that I got. So I have 2 pairs of the same shoe. I was like, pfft. And the first thing I thought about was like, well, I'm going to make money out of these. Basically, the same money I just, not dime by dime, but like, I'll make some money out of them. But I think I will save them for a present for somebody out there. But it's never happened before. The best thing that's ever happened to me in Nike is like I get shoes that I'm excited for, and then I get to open them and they look like shit. And so I went to return them and I get my money back. That's the best thing that's ever happened to me so far. And I have to do all the work. I have to spend the money and then drive there to get my money back. They just send me the shoes, and they're like, oh, you didn't like him? Yeah, you don't like him? Yeah, come drop him off. But I ended up winning, dude. I ended up winning 2 pairs. Same shoe. 2 pairs, 1 cup. 2 pairs, 1 cave. But so that was good. So I do have 2 pairs to go and lace up. So my week is gonna be busy. What? And last but not least, I got the news today. Miss Jessie Jane, for all of you guys that follow the porn, she passed away today. Jessie Jane, she was beautiful. Probably one of my in my top 10, right? In my top 10. Passed away today. It's kind of shitty. It's kind of shitty that I know that I sacrificed so many kids to her. We're talking about her dying, and like, dude, I ejaculated so much to her. But I did. Guilty as charged. She was one of the faves, and she passed away. Shitty. Overdose. Ugh. That just makes you think, what kind of life did you live after? Because she retired in 2007, I want to say. And she how do you say, she acted? No, is that what was the? She featured in the series Pirates, kind of like a what do you call it? A mockery of the Pirates of the Caribbean. By the way, Caribbean or Caribbean? Pirates of the Caribbean? Pirates of the Caribbean. What the fuck's going on there? Someone explain. Regardless, even if we know it as Caribbean, we keep saying Caribbean, right? Pirates of the Caribbean. Whatever, dude. But those films, I think it was 1 and 2. And I think at that point in time, it was like the biggest and most expensive adult film at that time. I think the first one was like 1 million, and the second one was 8 million to make. 8 million to spend it in porn? two things. First of all, you're like, damn, that's a lot of money on porn. Second, I go, gotta watch it. Gotta watch it. But yeah, that's a shitty deal. She passed away. Woke up, got on X this morning. You know why. And someone posted that she passed away. But I thought that she, like, when I read it, for some reason, I was like, oh, she passed away last year? Like, maybe I read it wrong, but I was like, wait, she passed away last year and I didn't know? And mind you, I'm just waking up. So, and I was reading it, like, I have obviously with the bright, I turned the bright down, but like it's still kind of bright, right? I just barely opened my eyes, so I'm trying to see with like one eye, and then the other one's like covering boogers. So I was like trying to see what's going on, and I thought he said January in 2023, so I was like, oh, she's been dead for a year, and I had no idea. And then as I did my my Googles, it was today or yesterday. I think it was today. And what a shitty deal, right? Because if you it's I shitty deal because how it ended, right? Overdosing. You're like, and there's levels, right? I mean, I feel like I feel like I'm talking adult industry here, and everybody's like, we have no idea what you're talking about. Bunch of bitches. But like, there's people that have built empires from this, right? There's Christy Mack, who's done very well. There's Angela White. She has her own production team. Like, she makes her own movies. And so forth and so forth. And then you get to see the people that were before them, right? I mean, there's Jenna Jameson. She kind of went cuckoo puffs, right? Ended up with a girl, marrying a girl. Shout out to her. And then you see Jesse Jane. Pretty shitty. That's just for the adult industry connoisseurs right there. So I woke up to sad news, people. Sad news. One of my faves passed away. Passed away with her boyfriend, too. Damn, what kind of parties are you guys into? Both of them. Overdosing. Kind of shitty. But it makes you think, where have you been that you're... Because if you retire from the industry, you kind of get that idea of like, oh, you're done well for yourself, right? Like, I mean, yeah, you've taken a beating, but you have done enough to say, okay, now I'm done. I want to do this. As far as I know, Riley Reid, another one of the faves, Riley Reid only, like nowadays, I could be wrong. I could be wrong. But I think she only shoots with women and her husband. And that's, and she has created a massive empire of videos of herself that she has her own, like they don't belong to anybody anymore. They don't belong to a industry. They have their own industries. They have their own name and production companies. They don't pay. They're not getting paid to be there. They're paying people to make this, right? Obviously, they're making all their revenue, but you know what I mean. But then you see both, right? You see, oh, there's this one over here thriving and riding the cock of success. And here's the other one. There was one of the good ones, and not as good ending. That was not a happy ending. But anyway, shout out to her. Shout out to her. But what do? I tell you what you do. You listen to this episode, you share it, you like it, you comment, and you send me some love. And Valentine's is coming. Maybe, you know what? Maybe I'll have... I want to see if we can have Mariah for Valentine's Day. Or Valentine's Week. You know, sex educator. What better time? Shit. I was just... Dude, yo, by the way, the fact that I've been doing all this dropping into songs for whatever I say or people say, it's fucked my life, by the way. Because now I can't live without it. I have to do it. And now that I said, what better time, I was thinking of Rage Against the Machine. What better time, what better place than here? What better place than here? What better time than now? And so now that I say what better time than now, I was like, I was trying to put that together. I hate it, dude. Why do I do that? Why do I do that? I have no idea. Where did I pick it up from? No clue. But it's there, dude. Now I can't stop it. Can't stop, won't stop. There you go. There's that one. How does that one say? What is that? Can't stop, won't stop. Is it Chingy? Can't stop, won't stop. In the groove, we get down, whatever, dude. I don't know, but hey, the thought is there. But anyway, thank you so much for hitting play. Thank you so much for hitting the YouTube, the audio version of this. Thank you so much for the follows. Thank you so much for the people that have reached out. Thank you so much for all the new followers. I appreciate you. Follow me for more content and some parenting advice, because I got some good ones. But anyway, this is it, dude. This is it. I kind of went farther than I've done in the past by myself, but I'm getting loosey goosey, dude. I'm getting good at just. Apparently, I haven't. Anyway, thank you so much for hanging out with me. Until next time, this has been How Did It Get So Good? Take it over, fellas.